Welcome everyone to the third episode of Let's Talk Credit. Episode 1, we talked about the 4 types of credit so you know who you are when it comes to credit. Now, the last time we talked about payment history and basically what it was or the most important thing when it comes to credit, which takes up 35% of your credit score and why it is so important. If you haven't watched those 2 episodes, I advise you to watch those episodes because these episodes build upon one another. And so you want to watch the episodes in order because it's going to build and give you a perfect foundation. So when we go into fixing your credit, you will know exactly what to do, how to fix your credit, what the problems are. And now when we start fixing your credit, you're going to have ultimate success. Okay. So today what we're going to talk about is how to control your credit, because once you understand the last 2 videos, now you're going to understand what it takes to actually to control how your credit score fluctuates up and down, and you'll be in charge of it instead of someone else being in charge of making your credit go up and down. Because I'm a little bit different than other people. And so I look at things a little bit differently. It's your credit report. It's your credit score. So the only time you really need good and excellent credit is when you're trying to get something. But if you want to maintain it, that's fine. I'm going to talk about that as well. However, when you want to go get some things, your credit score is automatically going to go down. And so when you want to go and get different items, this and that, I make sure that you want to make sure that your credit score is at its ultimate high. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. So with no further ado, let's talk credit.
Hello. I just called to tell you I purchased So Vegan lasagna today from Whole Foods, and I wanted you to know it's the best lasagna I ever had. The best lasagna I ever had. The best lasagna I ever had. Thank you very much.
Love that mac and cheese.
Love that mac and cheese.
All right, everyone, we're back. And what we're talking about today is how to control your credit. Okay, but before we get started, we want everyone to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, because you're going to get a lot of information. You're going to be able to hear it, know every time that one of our shows are coming on. You will know that. And it's going to give you all of that type of information, okay? So we're talking about today how to control credit. And the key thing when it comes to controlling credit is debt to credit ratio. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to share with you today. But what I want you to understand is that we've already talked about payment history takes up 35% of your credit score. This takes up 30% of your credit score. So what is debt to credit ratio? Debt to credit ratio basically, again, is where it measures how much combined credit you have versus how much you've used. Now the key phrase that I want you to get here is combined credit. Okay, so combined credit is the key. Combined credit. This is where a lot of people I've heard a lot of people that I've talked to dealing with credit before in the past. This word right here, they will say, instead of combined credit, they'll tell you like individual credit, like your credit card. Make sure your credit card has this amount on it, this amount on it, this amount. Each credit card, that is good. Don't get me wrong, because you are going to be balancing out your debt to credit ratio, and it's an easy way to consider it. But if you can understand the math of this, which we're going to talk about in a minute, which is very simple. This is one of the most simplest formulas ever. But if you can understand the math associated with this, right? Your combined credit is what you need to really think about, okay? So, for instance, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, but for instance, the average person with an 850 credit score, they have 7 to 8 credit cards, right? Because I'm going to start showing you later exactly what you need to have to get these different positions, because they all have certain things in common, okay? So a person with 850 credit score has 7 to 8 credit cards, right? Now, I want you to understand this. Let's say you had 3 credit cards. Let's just take 3 credit cards, right? And you said, okay, I'm going to have, and I want 15%, or how's the way I can put it? Let's say you got 1,000 on each one of the cards. 1,000 on this card, 1,000 on this card, and 1,000 on this card. Your combined credit is $3,000, saying you don't have any other credit but these 3 credit cards. I'm just using that as an example. That doesn't have to be true. It's just an example I'm using. So if this is the case, this 3,000 right here is your combined credit. Okay? This is very important. So it measures how much combined credit you have. And it's going to be key as I start going through this process and talking about it, that you understand this combined credit is going to definitely make a difference in exactly what it is that you're going to be able to do with your credit, the power you actually have, why you want more credit. Okay, because now you're going to be able to control, you're going to make it fluctuate. You're going to control what your credit score is going to be, because according to your debt to credit ratio, you can make your credit score go up and down. And this is extremely powerful. Very quickly, whenever the next time that your credit report reports, the next time that it reports is the next time that you're going to actually, this is going to change. Okay, so every time if it reports once a month, it's going to change that month. So what you need to do is, if you got something coming up where you need to have good credit, you need to master this debt to credit ratio. So we already talked about payment history. We master payment history. And if you have bad credit, I'm going to show you how to fix all of that. But payment history is a beast. And that's why I was telling you, if you got bad or no credit, and you got the first type of bad credit I talked about last time, where you got bad credit, but you've never had good credit, so you don't have any late payments or anything like that, you are in a very good position to master this debt to credit ratio. Okay, so pay close attention to what I'm telling you now. Now, the next thing is your debt to credit ratio affects 30% of your score. I want you to get that. 30%. And with this debt to credit ratio, it's going to definitely, a couple times we're going to be dealing with this 30%, because it affects 30% of your score as well. Okay. This right here is a very important number. Why? Because if you understand the last video I did with payment history, that's why I did it first. That was what? 35% of your score. So if we just get the debt to credit ratio and payment history correct, we've mastered 65% of our score. That is very important. And if you really understood the payment history last time, you will understand how easy it is to have a perfect payment history. Right? So we want to make sure we master payment history. The last video I did, master this. Get a good understanding of this. I don't care if you have to watch that video 3, 4, 5 times. That's the most important thing. It's the hardest part. Okay? It's the hardest part. You get that, you understand it. Before you mess that up, credit is super easy. Now, let's look at this. We got 30% here now, right? 30% of your score. So now together we got 65%. And you can play with this 30% here. Meaning, anytime you can make this go all the way back up or all the way back down. Right? At any time, you can fluctuate this. So if this 35% and this goes down, it's going to lower your credit score. But you don't care if you've already got the credits that you want. But when you want to go get some more, you're going to get that number to go right back up to 30. Now you're back at 65 at minimum. I'm going to show you the other portions in our next videos. But I want you to understand this and get this, okay? So we're at 65% now, right? So again, our combined credit is what it's looking at. It increases 30% of your score, affects rather 30% of your score, right? So the next thing is the debt to credit ratio formula. The debt to credit ratio formula is what? Credit balance divided by credit limit, right? Equals your debt to credit ratio, okay? I'm going to repeat that again, okay? So your credit score, your credit balance rather, divided by your credit limit equals your debt to credit ratio. So for instance, in the example that you're seeing on the screen right now, $700 divided by 1,000, that means you used 70% of your credit, your credit, which means your debt to credit ratio is 70%. That's high. You never want to go to 70%. Unless you don't care about getting no new credit. You can use it all you want. Doesn't matter. Just when it's time to get new credit, you want that below 30%. Okay? So you want to keep the DTC, the debt to credit ratio, below 30%. This is extremely important. You want to keep it below that. So we're going to keep that debt to credit ratio below 30%. Okay? Very simple. Again, that 30%, this is not the same. This is 30% that's affecting your score, but it's also, we want to keep it below 30%. And if we keep it below 30%, you're in a win-win-win situation. Okay? So now, what are the benefits of having a good credit score? Right? It's a very viable option for shooting your credit score through the roof anytime you want. I'm going to give you an example of this. Now I'm going to really show you how this works. Okay? So I'm going to erase this. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to come back here to you, and I'm going to show you it's a very viable option. We'll put this here for now. I'm going to put it here because I'll forget it. It's a very viable option for shooting your credit score to the roof anytime you want. How do we do this? Let's say you had these 3 credit cards. $1,000, $1,000, and $1,000. Now, if you don't need credit, you want to get these anyway, and you want to leave them like this. Why? Because the higher your credit ratio is, like your credit, the more credit you have available, the more it's going to be easier to get loans and so forth. See, if your payment history shows you paid your payments on time, and you have, like, let's say you had $10,000, $20,000, or $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 worth of credit in credit cards and loans or whatever, and your payment history shows you paid on time, believe you me, you're getting anything you basically want. And your credit score is 730, 750, 800, 850, you're getting whatever you want. I want you to understand. And it's not hard to get a 730, 750 credit score. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. But here's what I want you to get. You're looking at $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. That's $3,000 total credit right there, which is low. I mean, but it's good. It's very good. It's more than the average person has in credit. You can get way more than this, but don't get me wrong. I'm just using this as an example. So if that's the case, let's say you use 2,000 of that on a card. These 2 cards, let's say you maxed them out, right? And like I said, I'm different. I don't care what you do with your credit until you need to get it. As far as this is concerned, until you can use all your credit. Until you need to get some more credit, you need to pay those balances off, right? So if you got 2,000, you've used up what percentage? 2/3. So you at about 67%, right? That you've used. right? Because that's 2/3. So you about at 67% that you've used in credit here. Now, what I want you to get is all you really need to do is get down to 29%, right? Or less. But here's what I want you to do. If you paid off just one of them cards, your credit is back up. But your credit's going to go down here. It doesn't matter. You controlling your credit. You controlled, I want to spend $2,000. So you're going to control, I want to get it back up. So I'm going to pay this $2,000 off. Right? And my credit score shoots back up. It might even go higher because I've been making these payments, even though even though it's maxed out, I've been making these payments on time. So I have no negative payment history. That's 35% of my credit score. So when I pay this off, my credit score might shoot above where it was at last time. If you watch my, I think it's called 15 and 30 video. If you watch my 15 and 30 video on this channel, I show you exactly how to do that. Like you can even make it, like if you really want to master this, you can make it even deeper. But if let's say you just don't need credit, you just want to hold these cards. When you hold a card, you want to create payment history. So what you want to do is put a small bill on this one. Like maybe you might pay your gas and electric bill on this one. You want to put a bill on this one. You want to put your phone bill on this one. And you might want to pay a bill on this one. You might want to put something like a car note or something on this that you know you're going to pay off. You already paying it in cash anyway, but you're going to pay these off. And what you want to do is pay these cards totally off, right? Because what that's going to do is keep the cards active. And then what's going to happen is every month you're paying those off. And if you do the 2 payments like I talk about in the 15 and 30, your credit score is going to shoot up. This is how we control credit with the debt to credit ratio. There's other ways to control credit, but I love this way because you're in total control. The only thing that gives them any control is your payment history. That gives them control of your credit. But other than that, outside of it, no one has any control of your credit but you. And this debt to credit ratio is going to help you do that. So you can shoot your credit score through the roof anytime you want to through utilizing and understanding the debt to credit ratio. All right. So I'm going to talk more about this in a minute. Right. So now the next thing is lower interest rates. You're going to get lower interest rates due to the fact that let's say you got a $10,000 card and another $10,000 card or whatever, right? Now they know that you got that type of power. I apologize. This pen's going out. I'm going to use a different one. Let's say you got a $10,000 card and a $5,000. That could be, yeah, let's do that. And now you're at what? $15,000, right? So now you're at $15,000. And in this situation, right? They're already looking, he's got strong credit, a good payment history, right? But don't get me wrong, $3,000 and $5,000, that's beyond enough for them to give you very good credit. But $15,000, well, I'm just using that as a strong number because I'm going to show you how to get to this. I'm going to show you how to get to $100,000. I'm going to show you how to get to $1 million of leveraging credit. So I'm telling you, like for real, these are extremely powerful options you got here, right? So what I'm saying is, let's say it's 15,000 right here, right? Now you have $15,000 worth of credit. If you got $15,000 worth of credit right here, right? What's going to happen is they're going to give you a lower interest rate because you have good payment history along with a strong credit profile. So now you're going to get a lower interest rate than the average person. And then we're going to talk about in a minute, increased credit and credit limits. So as long as you keep that payment history good, see, they really aren't going to be able to tell if you maxed out your cards in the past. They really ain't looking at that. They're looking at now. What does your credit look like now? The only place that they really, when we're talking about credit cards, loans might be a little different because they're going to be looking at your debt to income ratio, which I'm going to talk about at another time. But they're going to be looking at your credit, your debt to credit ratio. I mean, when it comes to time, they're going to be looking at your payment history, not your debt to credit ratio. So they're looking at what does their payment history look like? Okay, that's where they're looking for time. But your debt to credit ratio, they're looking like, what is their debt to credit ratio right now? Oh, they're all the way, they're at 100% credit. They haven't used any of their credit. They got $15,000 ready to go, 100% of that, and they have excellent payment history automatically. And we got 3 other things that we're going to talk about, but on other videos. You're going to use these to go up and down the ladder on them. So you totally control your credit. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is solutions. What are the solutions that you need to be able to make this a reality, or you can utilize, right? Because we want a solution. Right now, your debt to credit ratio might not be good, or you haven't even built any credit, right? Or you're in a situation where you're wondering why your credit score dropped so low. A lot of times it's definitely going to be payment history, which I just showed you how to never mess that up in the last video. In this video, we're talking about debt to credit ratio. It could simply be your debt to credit ratio. Simply. And so there's times when, yes, if any credit card that you have is in good standing, always make sure that you keep it in good standing. Okay. So how to control credit: no credit, bad credit, good credit, and excellent credit. This is optional. If you have no credit, bad credit, good credit, or excellent credit, it's optional for you to do this next step. But if you do, I would advise you to. Even if you had excellent credit, you're an 8 at 850, you don't have to, but I always like to add more cards. That's me. I like it. But if you don't want any, if you have excellent credit and you're good to go, you don't have to worry about this. The secure credit card, this secure credit card that I have on my link, if you go to my link tree that'll be underneath this video and click on secure card, the new card that we have now, that the company that I use, we have it, like the one that we use now, I just got one. I got the old one, but now I just got the new one too. This card is excellent. It is excellent. It is so good because after you utilize this card, they're going to give you an unsecured card. So it starts as a secure credit card, right? But it has all the features of a unsecured credit card. And then after time of you paying your bill on time, they're going to send you an unsecured credit card, right, that you can utilize. That's extremely powerful. There is no credit check, no background check, anything. It has all of these benefits attached to it. I would advise you, it's zero. It don't cost, there's no annual fee. You can go get it right now. It won't cost you a dime. And you can put anywhere on it from $10 to $10,000 on that card. And you can add to it. That's the power. So why is that so important? Why is this card so important? Because you can add to the card, right? So fast graduation, what does that mean? That means that you're going to move from the secured to unsecured quickly. They have the fastest in the industry. From secure to unsecured quickly. That is the fast graduation. That is powerful. Not only that, the minimum payment, when you make that minimum payment, they are reporting that back to the credit bureaus every single month. And it's going to shoot your score up. This is for people with bad credit or no credit, especially. It'll be super fast for you, right? No annual fee. I want you to get this. That's very important. Why? Because it costs zero to get it. No, the minimum you have to put on the card is $10, not $200, $300 for a secure credit card. $10. And why is this powerful? Because you can add up to $10,000 on this card. Now I want you to get why that's extremely powerful. The reason that's powerful right there is because most secure credit cards, many, I won't say most, many secure credit cards, you cannot add to them once you put the money on there. You can't add to it. Whatever you put in the beginning is what it's going to be. With this, you can increase the credit. Because what you put on the card, you can increase the credit. Why is that important? Because let's say I got this situation where I got the 1,000, or let's say you're in a situation where you might have 1,000 in credit somewhere, you might have a loan, and your debt to credit ratio, you might not have paid this off, so you owe $1,000. Let's just say that. And now your credit ratio, that means your credit ratio's at 100% spent. Oh, I'm sorry, 100% spent. You're at 100% spent, right? You spent 100% of your credit. You could drop 3,000 over here, right? And now you're back down to that 30%. You just moved it. You just knocked it down. You understand what I'm saying? And if you put 4,000 over here, you're good to go. You can add that to this card anytime. You can change, you can fluctuate your debt to credit ratio. Now you're in total control of your credit. I love that card. It comes with a credit card, virtual credit card, and a physical credit card. It comes with a virtual bank account and a physical bank account. It comes with a virtual bank account and a physical bank account, right? And it comes with a virtual debit card and a physical debit card if you want the debit card. Okay, you have to check that you want the debit card. This approval is immediate. I've only had one person that went through that wasn't immediate. There's no background check on this whatsoever. There's no credit check. No credit check, no credit, there's nothing that you have to do with this card. It's immediate approval. And everybody I know that's done it except one person had immediate approval. So I want you to get this. Imagine having Cash App with a credit card attached to it. That's the power of this. And it's extremely powerful. Okay, I want you to it's extremely powerful card. So I think it's excellent for anybody with no credit, bad credit, immediate. You should have this immediately. Good credit, you want it because you want to have 7 to 8 cards to get to the next level from good credit to excellent credit. And if your good credit dropped, you definitely want to add this because now you can, like I said, play with your debt to credit ratio, pay those others off. You can do all of that and add to it. You're constantly adding to your debt to credit ratio. Okay? Constantly adding. So now, if you have good credit and excellent credit, if you have bad credit or no credit, this is not going to work for you. If you have no credit or bad credit, it's not going to work for you. For those that have good credit and excellent credit, this is a perfect solution for you. If for any reason your credit score goes down, like you went and you went and spent something on your cards, this and that, that's all good. Pay down your credit cards if you're going to go get some more credit. Always check this, right? That's the other thing I like about the service. If you go in the back and it says repair my credit or credit repair, whatever, click on that link on the link tree. You click on the link tree, credit repair, click on that link. And what's going to happen is you're going to be able to enroll in that. This keeps you up to date. The credit monitoring service they offer is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I love it. I can pull my credit every single day. I check my credit for free. I pull my credit every single day with their system. Right? So I get to pull my credit clear every single day. What I'm saying is, but when you're going to get credit, you want to make sure that you pay down your credit cards. Right? You can see this. You can see all that information. I love that. Pay down your loans, right? Apply for credit card increases. This is extremely powerful, especially if you got good and excellent credit. Apply for credit card increases. This is powerful, right? Why? Because you can take $1,000 credit card And overnight, I've seen people actually overnight take $1,000 credit card and turn it into $50,000 with an increase. I've seen that. That ain't hope, wish, or dream. I've seen that. I've seen people take $10,000 credit card and either increase it to $100,000 or they will send them another card that has $100,000 on it. And that's $110,000 now they got. What does that do? Let's say you got $5,000 in credit. Let's say you got $5,000 and you just increased just take it to $10,000. You doubled it. But if you increase to $20,000 or $50,000, your debt to credit ratio is beautiful right now. You got what I'm saying? You just shot your credit ratio. It's like you at like a few percent overnight. Now you can go get the credit that you want to get or get the thing that you want to get. And if you're wise, you don't have, since you're already using this amount. I mean, do you really need to spend $50,000 in credit card? Not unless you're running a business. And I'll be talking about business credit coming up soon because I'm adding, I'll have a link on there for business credit coming shortly. So if you need business credit, feel welcome to reach me on Facebook. My Facebook link is there. You can reach me on Instagram. That's fine. But that $50,000 or that business credit, yes, you might use this, but there's another system that we're going to use for business credit, right? But you need your personal credit even with business credit. That's very important. But you don't want to use this amount. You want to keep a number like this literally to that 30% or below. This is big. Use your other cards. Use the other things that you have. Use that, because what this will do, if you get this number high enough, it doesn't matter if you max out all these cards, you will never see a decrease in your credit score based on debt to credit ratio. So with that, I appreciate everybody's time. I'm looking forward to seeing you all again the next video, and we'll be talking about something else that's going to be great. But I want to let you know, it'll probably be debt to income ratio, but we're going to go through and I'm going to be showing you these steps to get you all the way to an 850 credit score. And I'm utilizing the same system I use to get my credit score from 562 to 730 in 2 months. So I appreciate your time. Oh, I forgot to tell you all, we have a great offer on the table right now. We have our free giveaway. If you click on the link tree, you can actually get our free giveaway. We'll be giving away different things. We'll be pulling from the hat of individuals that sign up for the free giveaway, and we'll be giving away different items and cash prizes to individuals who win on that as well. Also, the first person that signs up for our Get Paid program on this video, from this video, and or as a customer, we will put your link there so you now can get your credit repaired for free. So I appreciate your time. Enjoy yourself. If you're doing it yourself, stay strong. We're always here for you. I'm always here for you. Looking to help in any which way that I can. Feel free to reach out for me. I help a lot of people. Just, you can ask me questions, send me whatever you want. It doesn't matter. I appreciate you all. See you all at the top. Love you all with a perfect love. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on our next episode. Peace.
What is the worst move you can make? Black on black crime is not intelligent. Black on black crime is not intelligent.